tips for writing your next reflection paper. A reflection paper is nothing more than a formal writing on your thoughts about an experience or a reading. Your instructor may ask you to write a reflection essay, a journal, or blog posting. Fortunately, each of these follows the same basic format. There are only two types of reflection paper that you'll be asked to write: an experiential reflection or a reading reflection. Is the assignment question asking you to reflect on a personal experience, like a time when you had to make an important decision, an interview that you conducted for a class assignment, or a work placement or practicum? Then you have an experiential reflection paper to write. Or is your assignment question asking you to reflect on some reading that you've been asked to do? Here, you have a reading reflection paper to write. Both experiential reflection and reading reflection papers are similar in that you're expressing your thoughts. But remember, what you are writing is for your instructor to read, so make sure you use academic language. It's so easy to slip into casual language when expressing your thoughts. You are essentially showing your instructor that you can think deeply about how the learning experience has caused you to change or develop. Let's start with the thesis statement, which is always the last line of your introduction. It will look a little different from your usual thesis statement. It will say what your essay is about and how the specific reading or experience has influenced you. You will expand on this in your essay, so don't give too much away in the beginning. Let's look at a very generic reflective essay thesis statement structure. After experiencing or reading, insert topic, comma, I gained the knowledge of, insert what you learned. But we can do better than this. Let's say you're writing a thesis statement for a reflection paper on the experience of completing a teaching practicum. It may look like this. My practicum has enabled me to apply the developmental concepts I learned in class and allowed me to critically think about how to approach issues related to child behaviour. Okay, what about a thesis statement for a reading? Let's say you're writing a thesis statement for a reflection paper on a book titled Broken Circle. It may look like this. Through his memoir, Broken Circle, Theodore Fontaine takes the reader through his self-healing journey. His story allowed me to better understand the depth of the trauma caused by the residential school system and the difficult healing journey the Indigenous communities are undertaking. Now let's look at the body paragraphs. The body paragraphs do two main things. First, they summarize the meaning of the text or experience. Then, they reflect on what the reading or experience made you think about. How did it connect with your thoughts? Did it change any of your thinking? The body of your paper could consist of a few paragraphs of summarizing, followed by a few paragraphs of reflection. Or you could summarize one point, then reflect on it, and summarize a second point, and then reflect on it, and so on, paragraph by paragraph. You can choose which style you prefer. If you run out of ideas to write about in the reflection paragraphs, you can ask yourself questions. For a reading reflection, ask yourself, does the text align with my existing ideas and beliefs? How does it align or not align? Does the text challenge my existing ideas and beliefs? Does the text help me to understand the topic better? Does it enable me to understand the course topic better? Does it enable me to understand the wider field of study better? Or how might my future work change because of what I've learned? For a reflection on an experience, you can ask yourself these questions. Why did particular things happen? Do I feel the same way about the situation now? How have my thoughts changed? What would I do differently in a similar situation in the future? What did this experience teach me about myself, about working in the field, about society? And how does my experience relate to the concepts covered in the course? And finally, finish off your essay with a good conclusion. Conclude the same way you would for other formal essays using the three-step process. First, restate your thesis statement in different words. Second, recap your main points or highlights. And finally, finish with a strong sentence that says why your essay is important in the bigger picture.